Hello everyone. Today we're taking a look at the Prestigio MultiPad 9.7 Ultra Duo. Now it's something of a special tablet because A, it's running Android, so we like it. It's running Android 4.1, but crucially it sells at £199, €199, $199 presumably. Now normally we wouldn't expect to see anything special at this price point, certainly not in a 9.7 inch screen anyway, but this particular tablet is rocking a 1.6 GHz dual-core Cortex A9 processor, backed up with a Quadcore GPU. Now the Quadcore GPU is either going to be a Mali 400 or a PowerVR chip. I think it's the Mali in here, but there's no, unfortunately, official information which says exactly what we're dealing with on that one. It has 1 gig of system RAM and 16 gig of storage space. So generally speaking, it's a pretty good mid-range tablet. What we found when we were testing this is the hardware is absolutely fantastic, let down by only a couple of small areas. But overall, we were very impressed with this tablet. So one of the things that really impressed us with this tablet is how many ports are available. So on the side, you have your power button, a 3.5mm headphone jack, a mini HDMI port, yeah seriously, HDMI out is available on this, 2 mini USB connectors, or micro USB connectors if you want to call them like that, one for keyboard and mouse and one for accessing the internal storage. And then there's an SD card available on here as well, Transflash micro SD, so you can expand the storage up to 32, 64 gig. It should be running on the standard SD, micro SD standard, so you should be able to put a 64 gig chip in here. The only drawback from the port side of things is it won't charge through a USB port. So this particular tablet, you have to use the separate USB charger that comes with it, plugs into the side just there. Not a massive issue when you think about it. It's a bit awkward, but you know, on a tablet of this price point, I think there's always going to be a few compromises. And one of the compromises is the separate USB charger. Not a massive issue, I don't think. On the other side of the tablet, you have your volume rockers and the home button, which will always take you back to home. Other than that, hardware-wise, it's a plastic IPS screen. Now, that does affect viewing angles quite considerably, and it also means that there's quite a lot of reflection on this screen as well. And the screen brightness doesn't really go as high as I think it would need to really negate any of that kind of shininess you're getting off the screen, this glare. But with that said, it is a very crisp screen, and when you're looking at it straight on, watching videos on YouTube or playing games, it's pretty hard to argue with the screen quality, to be honest with you. One of the bonus points, I think, of having the plastic screen is that this gives a lot more confidence to people to give the tablet to either a first-time tablet user or to a child, where you're a little bit concerned about giving them, you know, £400 or £500 worth of tablet with a glass screen. It's a little bit easy to break. With the plastic screen on here, a little bit more durable from that perspective, and a little bit more safe to give to you know, a younger person or someone who's never had a tablet before. Maybe it's a bit clumsy. So, what do we get from a software perspective with this tablet? Well, it's running Android 4.1, so it's not the latest and greatest version of Android, although it is very competent and capable. It's running with the full tablet UI layout, so everything flies down from the bottom on this particular unit. You have the lower navigation controls, which are fairly common to tablets of this size, which allows you to pull up your running tasks, or your running app should I say, move back to your home screen or minimize, and the return button. And in here, this gives you access to all of your apps and widgets. If you want to pop an app onto your home screen, all you need to do is long press, drag and drop. All of this is fairly standard stuff for anyone that's played with Android 4, 4.1 or 4.2, although you're not getting all the newer features of Android 4.2. One thing we discovered with this tablet is when it's installing applications, say if you're downloading something from Google Play, or if you're sideloading music or video footage onto the tablet, you will find the tablet locks the world for itself. So in effect, when it's writing data to the memory, internal memory or storage, the tablet can't do more than 2 things at once when it comes to writing data to the internal storage, and so it will have to basically stop and wait. So if you're installing a large game or something like that, just be aware that if you're trying to do anything else with the tablet at the same time, you'll find the thing will just stall out. This isn't unique to this particular type of tablet and this particular manufacturer. It's something we've noticed time and time again with the lower price point Android tablets. It's all down to the memory controllers at the end of the day, and it's something that we will see improve over the next few generations. It doesn't stop this tablet from being fantastic when it's just doing the one task well. So when it's playing games, when it's browsing the internet, watching videos and so on, it runs incredibly quickly. But just bear in mind that if you're installing stuff at the same time as trying to do another operation, you will notice some system lag kicking in. Effectively, things just stop and the system will then catch up again at its next available opportunity. Pre-installed on the tablet, you'll notice we've installed a few bits and pieces ourselves. The actual software installer, as it were, when you first turn the tablet on, asks you if you'd like to install any of these, which is quite nice. You get some card games, you get Adobe Flash, Angry Birds, Blue, which is a smart way for real-time financial market information, groovy, a chess game, currency converter, and Facebook and Twitter, Skype and Instagram all included as well, and also YouTube. What I found is once it's installed these, it then needs to go to the Google Play Store and install the updates anyway. So just bear that in mind. But it's very nice to have out of the box for those people who really are not familiar with Android tablets or any kind of smart device, to have some applications that they'll probably recognise themselves already and have those preloaded. Literally all you have to do when you turn the tablet on and you first pop your details in, hit a button and it starts the install process for you, which is very nice. Now, settings wise, if we drop into the settings, and we'll do that through the app tray, everything here is very much what you'd expect from Android 4.1. You do also have the HDMI option, so you can turn on your HDMI and set the output resolution and refresh rate, which I thought was really cool. Quite a nice little feature. If you want to use this as kind of personal media device to sling data to your television set, plug in your mini HDMI, plug it into your television set and set your output resolution and off you go. Screenshot settings are available in here as well. I think this is something Prestigio have added themselves. I've not spotted this pop up on previous Android 4.1 default installs, but a very useful thing to have there. You can set how long you would like it to capture for and so on. Your internal storage is available there. All of this, like I say, very, very standard if you've used any previous Android tablet, so not a huge amount really there. One thing I will show you is the brightness control is right up. Now watch what happens if I drag the brightness down. You notice that the brightness actually only kicks in, and once you get to about half, the brightness doesn't go up anymore. It's a little bit strange, I think it's a bug, but for my mind the brightness is just about good enough, even at the kind of halfway value. Hopefully Prestigio will release a fix for that, but as you can see, there is a slight strangeness there, where once it goes to halfway, it doesn't get any brighter. Other than that though, everything is pretty much the muchness within these settings. So let's have a look at really where this tablet comes into its own, which is gaming. For a 9.7 inch tablet of this price point at £199, to see a tablet gaming this well, really, really nice. So here we are with Need for Speed Most Wanted, probably one of the more intensive games that we can get on Android. And as you can see, very, very nice. You will notice a small amount of slowdown just as it first kind of loads the level, but after that things become very, very fast and fluid. The Cortex A9 backed up with the Quadcore GPU, like I say, I think it's the Mali 400, but not entirely sure, and it just flies. For a 199 tablet with a 9.7 inch screen, can you do much better? I don't think you can somehow. Really, really, really nice. Frame rate is absolutely spot on, and as you can see, no hiccups, no slowdowns there as it's filling up the textures and so on as cars move in and out of my field of view. It just maintains a really nice steady frame rate throughout. One thing I will say is the tablet's weight does make it a slightly unwieldy for long gaming sessions where you need to use the accelerometer. You will find your arms get a little bit tired after around 45 minutes to an hour, but you know, that's what the outside world was invented for. Go outside, have a run around, come back and play some more. Let's take a look at another game, shall we? So So this is Modern Combat 4, one of the leading first-person shooters, if not the leading first-person shooter on any mobile platform. As you can see, again, really nice frame rate. The graphics are holding up really nicely, and the Mali CPU and the Cortex A9 are doing a stonking job. If anyone can find anything that's particularly glitchy here, I'd be surprised. The gameplay is absolutely spot on for this tablet, especially at this kind of price point. Only thing I'd say is the size of the tablet does make some of the button presses a little bit difficult to hit. Those probably need to be adjusted in the game's actual settings more than anything else. It's worth noting that the screen itself is not an HD screen as such. It's a 1024 screen, so you're not getting absolutely the highest resolution graphics possible, but it's difficult to kind of tell the difference when you're actually playing, and you know that dropping resolution does actually help the frame rate quite a bit. But you know, if you're looking to play first-person shooters, you can certainly do it on this tablet without any problem, and at 9.7 inches. Boom, boom, boom. This is Dungeon Hunter 4. It came out literally a day ago, and so if there was any title that we would expect to slow down this £199 tablet, this would be the one to do it. And to me, yep, that's looking pretty good. Let's just skip that just in case we're actually seeing some sort of really well done cutscene in pre-rendered video footage, but I don't think we were there. We'll be bringing a full review of Dungeon Hunter 4 later on in the week, but for now I just thought it might be interesting to give it a try on this £199 tablet and see how it performs. I mean, that is definitely in-game, and that's pretty good. You see a small amount of judder. Whether that is caused by actual fill rates or bad programming, couldn't tell you. We'll find out when we compare this to a few more compare this game on a few more Android devices, but for now, let's have a quick look. Wow, that seems reasonably smooth. Dungeon Hunter, by the way, is a Diablo-style game with in-app purchases, but this is really just to give you an idea that this particular tablet will have absolutely no problems with the latest games, including a game that came out just yesterday, and that's a really big-looking bad guy. Okay, so with this particular tablet, let's recap. We've got a 9.7-inch screen with a Cortex A9 processor and a Quadcore GPU, backed up with 1 gig of system RAM and 16 gig of storage. The screen is plastic, and it does require a separate power charger to be plugged into the side of it. But you have additional expansion ports on the side, including 2 micro USBs, one for plugging a keyboard and mouse, and one for plugging into your PC for removable storage, and a HDMI mini out as well. Which is a massive bonus if you ask me. Now, what we found was the tablet was incredibly good for gaming. Certainly at this price point, I don't think there is anything that can equal it. And the only drawback was if you're installing something already to the laptop, you know, downloading from the web or from the Google Play Store or from sideloading and installing to the internal memory, you will find the tablet slows down whilst that process is going on. It will effectively lock, and you just have to wait for it to continue its installation, finish doing the install to the memory, and then carry on. One of the things that we were really impressed with is the hardware that comes in the box. So not only do you get the tablet, but you also get a case, a USB to-go cable, which allows you to plug in things like memory sticks, keyboard and mice directly into the tablet, which normally you would end up paying about £15 to £20 for separately, if you can even get them with a particular tablet. For instance, Nexus 7 does not have that option. And all in all, a really solid package for $199. I've reviewed a few of these tablets now at different price points that would be considered the budget ranges, and overall I would say this one is the best bang for buck of any of the tablets I've reviewed so far at these price points. Certainly it beats the £99 tablets with 7-inch screens, and I would say it's well worth picking up if you're looking for a mid-range, mid-spec tablet. Maybe it's a second tablet to keep around the house, maybe it's not your primary tablet, or if you're looking for a gift for somebody where, you know, you're not completely sure if they're going to really get into using a tablet computer, or if you're worried about, you know, a really expensive glass fronted tablet getting smashed. The plastic screen on here, but the overall durable feel of the entire tablet. There's no flex here, which is absolutely remarkable really. It's a very solid construction. it means that you can have confidence giving it to a child or to someone who's a bit clumsy and not worry too much about your £199 investment breaking. So that is the Prestigio MultiPad Ultra Duo at 9.7 inch. Please let us know in the comments what you think, and if there's anything you'd like us to test specifically, do let us know.